skies makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. Reaching beyond the skies, running deep, stretching wide. Perfect love realized here with you. Come on now. Now this love is for real. You will never let go, never let go. Oh, and it's more than just words. Love beyond my control, out of control. Hands up. This is real love. This is real love. Say this is real love. This is real love. Oh. Come on and say, you're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love. This is real love. In your heart, I am found. I want you. I want you. You won't let me down. You got me. You got me. No time is for real. You will never let go. Never let go. Oh, and it's more than just words. Love beyond my control. Out of control. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. This is real love. This is real love. Oh. Come on, y'all. You're pulling me closer and closer, holding my heart till the very end. Jesus, I'm found in your freedom. So this is real love. This is real love. Oh. Staring into your eyes makes my heart come alive. Suddenly brought to life when I met you. 1, 2, 3, jump!
Good morning, Antioch kids. Happy Sunday. How are ya? Are you doing good? I hope you had a fantastic week full of so much goodness and joy. We're going to get ready to worship and praise the Lord this morning. So wherever you're at, make sure you put all the distractions to the side. Wherever you are, we're going to get ready to stand up. Obviously, like we do every single week, we're going to stretch it out. So if you need to stretch your arms if they're feeling kind of stiff, if you need to stretch your leggies because they're feeling kind of stiff, if you need to stretch your torso so that you can do some good dancing. Today, I asked Olivia to come back. So Olivia is going to lead us in worship today. Let's get ready to praise the Lord.
Waking up knowing there's a reason. All my dreams come alive. Life is for living. With you, I've made my decision. You lift me up, fill my eyes with wonder. Forever young in your love, this freedom's untainted. With you, no moment is wasted. See the sun now bursting through the clouds, black and white, turn to color all around. All is new in the Savior I have found. This is living now.
love? If it was, am I living it? Do I live in it? So astounding. Love is an ocean, you can drown me. The sweet embrace, the lovely taste, I taste and see. I'm under grace, the place to be. It means I'll never need an umbrella. I'm cool in the cold, in the hot weather. Whether or never I ever understand, I'm a man in the hands of great plans. I stand with faith there in a life I never known to touch. And still outside my clutch, but I'm like, what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? Live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given's a gift. If I'm a living, I'ma live it to death. So what's the dream of? What's the hope in? What's the doubt for? And live to no end. This is living. The life I've been given's a gift. If I'm a living, I'ma live it to death. Yeah.
This is living now. You take me higher than I've been before. It's your perfect love that sees me soar. God, your freedom is an open door. You are everything I want and more.
so good. Thank you so much, Olivia, for leading us in worship today. Okay, big deep breath, everybody. Okay, go ahead and have a seat. We have another story today. All right, are you ready for story time? Raise your hand if you're ready for story time. I hope you raised your hand because I'm ready for story time. All right, this one is called The King Who Had It All. When David died, his son Solomon became the new king. Solomon was very young when he began to rule Israel. The nation was at peace because David had worked hard to make his kingdom strong and harmonious. One night, God appeared to Solomon and told the new king he could have anything he asked for. Solomon chose carefully. He asked for wisdom to rule God's people. King Solomon loved God, so he built a temple where God would dwell and the people would worship him. Solomon planned it to be the most beautiful building in the country. Nations all around Israel heard about Solomon. They knew he was the wisest and richest man in the world. They knew he had built a palace, a beautiful temple, and grand cities. There's King Solomon and his beautiful temple. All right, what happens next? One day, the Queen of Sheba came to visit King Solomon. A colorful parade of royalty with servants, assistants, and government officers arrived in Jerusalem after traveling more than 1,000 miles. Oh my goodness. What a sight! The rich and famous queen was carried through the streets in a brilliant caravan. With her came carts full of treasures. Trunks overflowed with gold, precious jewels, and rare, sweet-smelling spices. All were gifts for King Solomon. The colorful caravan made its way to the palace. The king himself waited on the steps to welcome his guest. King Solomon, said the queen, I've heard about your great wisdom and knowledge. I have also heard about your golden palace and the beautiful temple you built for your God. I have come to see everything for myself and to ask you many questions. Oh, let me show you pictures. Look at the colorful caravan and all of the gifts and all the crazy parade for Queen Sheba. Do you see her? There she is. All right, what happens next? The king showed his guest around the temple and the palace. He answered every one of the queen's questions. No question was too difficult for Solomon. His vast knowledge amazed her. He knew about plants and animals. He understood what made people act the way they do. During her visit, the queen learned a lot from the wise king of Israel. She could see that God favored Solomon and had blessed him greatly. Soon the visit came to an end, and it was time for the queen to return to her homeland. Before she left, the Queen of Sheba told King Solomon, "Your wisdom and wealth are much greater than I had heard or imagined. Your people are blessed to have you as their king." Stories of Solomon and his wisdom were told throughout the nations of the world. Solomon wrote more than 1,000 songs, and he wrote down many of his wise thoughts so the people could share the wisdom that God had given him. There's Queen Sheba and King Solomon sitting and chatting together. Here's what I think is so cool about this story is that Solomon had an opportunity to ask God to give him anything he wanted. How many of you guys have something in your mind right now that if you could be given it today, it would be like, this is the coolest toy I've ever had in my whole life, right? Sometimes we think about things that we really want that make us happy, but we don't always think about the things that we want that could help us serve other people. And that's what I love about Solomon, is that when Solomon was given an opportunity to have anything he wanted, he chose wisdom, which allowed him to help govern the city that he was called to be the king over. And God does that for us today in this time. You might not be a king or a queen, but God can give you wisdom to help your neighbors. He can teach you how to love to help other people or to be kind. So when you think about the things that you want to ask God for, is there something that you can ask God for that will help you be a better neighbor and love other people better? That's my question for you this week. When you're asking the Lord to give you things to bless you, are you asking for things that can bless other people? That might challenge the way that you think. It might challenge the way that you pray and talk to God this week. So go ahead. You can pray about that if you want to this week. If you want to read the story in your own Bible, you can visit 1 Kings. There's 2 books called Kings, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. So 1 Kings chapter 10 is the story of King Solomon and Queen Sheba. I love you guys. Have a fantastic week. See you next time.